right, peace to the family out there. Yeah, let me get that about you. Oh, you know what? I think I got a pen. I'm straight. Microphone check 1 2. What is this? The 5 foot assassin with the roughneck business.
That's the algorithm.
Dr. EnQi incarnate as the true and living soul of Osiris. It's been 4,000 years since you learned true knowledge yourself, since you learned real black history. Find out the secrets of your soul, how you are being colonized. Take back your history. Create your future.
Hi, my name is Wusia. Freemasonry is the largest and most successful fraternity on earth, and it's black. If we are going to celebrate anything during Black History Month, it should be Freemasonry. Celebrate by learning true black history and transforming your body with Dr. EnQi's 120-day challenge. Dr. EnQi's groundbreaking research has been backed by Harvard and now the National Library of Medicine. This is Freemasonry at its finest. Remember, before there was a Dr. Sebi or Dr. EnQi, there was an Imhotep. Go to Amazon and get your copy now.
Baby girl, it's on. Baby girl, it's on. All right, so I know we're a little early. I can't get on time. I can't be on time. All right, now listen. Before we go into the book and begin this conversation, because it's a beginning conversation. We've got to have this conversation. It's a beginning conversation, right? Now, here's the thing. I think that's better, maybe even better for the sound too. Let me see who we have in the building. All right, Osborne and Bayat, y'all probably getting ready to be mad with me anyway. Shout out to Lifestyle. I think Lifestyle was first in here, but I think sometimes the stuff get deleted or whatever. I don't know. All right, we international, right? So we got a couple family in the building, right? Shout out to the Pathmaker. Shout out to Dennis, right? But listen, I know y'all might get mad with me when I say this, but I have to say this. Actually, you know what y'all could do? Y'all could blame it on the holiday. How about that? So let me explain these books one more time. And then we're going to get into our stuff. And then I know y'all might be a little bit mad with me, but I got to deal with it. Right? So the Cliff Notes. I don't even have the Master Edition yet. I know how it go. I know some of y'all probably got y'all's today, though. Dirty motherfucker. But I'm still waiting for mine, right? Now, the Master Edition is the Master Edition. I kind of not maxed out, but the way the app or the program works that you write your book in, you don't get an accurate page count, right? So there's no way for me to really know how many pages the book that I'm writing is until I send it into Amazon. Once I send it into Amazon and I begin to walk through the steps of publishing, there's a point where they'll send me back a proof for me to, see, approve it or, see if I like it or whatever before they actually, it gets fully submitted. At that point, that is the first time that I get an accurate count of the pages. Give me that hot water and turn it off. That's the first time that I get an accurate count of the pages. Yes, sir. Yeah. That's the first time I get an accurate count of the pages. So, I like the page count where the page count is at in the master edition. So I'm not going to mess with the master edition. Now, in my writing process, I had to take out a lot of the proof, right? Because in the master edition, we make some claims, and you know how we do. We're on the cutting edge of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I like to show the scientific, the articles and blah, blah, blah. At least some of them, some I'm cool with references, you know what I'm saying? But some I like to actually show the reference because I realize that, people play tricks on folks with titles of articles as a reference. And you'll show, like 20 or 30 of these references. But I learned from going back and forth with people, I'm listening to people present stuff that I know to be foolishness, and then they have references. So I go to start checking out some of these references and actually read these articles, and the articles do not validate any part of, but they will scare somebody, like back somebody into a, like if you don't know any better and somebody says something and they start showing you that they got 20 or 30 scientific articles or journals that supposedly corroborate their research, most people, they'll just stop right there. Me, I'm like, all right, let me get those. Yeah, let me get those. I'm getting ready to go check these out. You know what I'm saying? So, I try not to fit in that, I make sure we don't fall into no space like that, so anyway, this book is actually like 3 books, right? So you got the Cliff Notes, which may or may not disappear. Y'all better grab this while it's available because I may pull these out of print now that the master edition is out. These are almost obsolete. Even though I think over the years, let me see how many pages is in here. It's only 500 and something pages in here. So maybe if I run out, yeah, you know what? I'm going to leave these in print because if I run out of space in the living proof, now the living proof is like mostly the stuff to validate what's in the master edition. You know what I'm saying? And primarily is for you, right? Because you may have questions that you're uncomfortable asking me because sometimes I can be a little brash, right? But this way you can, prove it to yourself. But also when you're discussing these things with your friends, your family, or maybe you're on other platforms or wherever, I need you to be sharp as a number 2 pencil on test day. So now the super easy cheat code is, ta-da, you got the living proof. You know what I'm saying? You got the book. So you don't need to even, like, literally, it's like having me pop out of your back pocket. Pause. That sounded a little crazy. But you'll have everything you need to validate anything that, So here's where a few folks might get upset with me, right? Some of you already purchased your copy of, the living proof. Now, I wasn't planning on updating it so soon, but I did update it. Well, I submitted an update. Let me say that. So, yeah. So by tomorrow or whenever, it will be like an updated version that'll be out there. So I think the one that you might have purchased already, it's going to be like 300 pages. The updated version is probably closer to 400 pages. You know what I'm saying? But I had to, and only reason why, so you may not feel that bad, but that's what I'm going to do from time to time with the living proof. That's going to be like our shared family thread notebook kind of thing. I don't even know how to really, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just going to be the living proof. You know what I'm saying? That book will be updated from time to time, where I'll be adding more stuff in it, as things come up, as we go through stuff. Now, obviously, I was not planning on putting the book out and then 2 days later updating the book. But today just so happened to be Valentine's Day. And I didn't even know today was Valentine's Day. I got so much stuff going on in the research and the children and this, that, and I had no idea today was Valentine's Day until, I got some good energy, some good Valentine energy this morning. Yo, hold on. Shout out to Conrad. Conrad said, Conrad, let me tell you how we all know that you're new to the channel. Yo, and listen, this is all love. We're not laughing at you. We laughing with you, right? But trust me, I can't even hear their voices. And I know they all like, oh yeah, Conrad must be new. There is no such a thing as the God is Music book. Like literally, all of these books are the God is Music books. All of these books. Now, some of the books have that in their title and some of them don't. But technically, all of these books are the God is Music books. So if you say that, the God is Music books, that could be this book, the Cliff Notes, which I would not suggest. Like I said, I would suggest now that the Master Edition is out, you just get that book, right? Because that has all this in it and more. But then that could be, here, let me show you what I'm saying exactly. How about this? What does this one say? Okay. Let me show you what I'm saying. And this is just offhand because all my books are not in here. But you see this? Look at this. You see that? God is Music and 120 is his magic number. Oh, wait, I showed you that one already. And what is this? This is book. Yeah, this is the. So God is Music is all of these books. Oh. You see that right there? God is Music. So, yeah, so all of my books, like that's my religion, right? And some of you are already EnQitarians, right? Or as I would say, hydrohemophotophysiologist, right? So those of you that are are part of the EnQi faith, the EnQi religion, you know, Amber made that up, kind of stuck, right? Because I guess hydrohemophotophysiology is like, you know, but yeah, this is a lifestyle, right? And you know, the God of my religion is, you know, God is music. And yeah. So, but yeah, definitely Conrad, that is not a specific book. He said I'm gonna get the God is music book. That is like almost all the books, bro. That is definitely like all the books. So yeah, I don't know what to say. If you got the algorithm, I would say just go to the master edition book. Yeah, go to that. Right. But anyway, I appreciate you for getting any books. Let me say that. Right. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. I definitely appreciate the folks that send the cash apps. We need it. Right. Um, today is Anubis Day. Today is now I'm sure that you've never heard that before unless you were listening to me last year, this time, or the year before, whatever the case may be. Right. But Valentine's Day is Anubis Day. And again, it just be little stuff like this that makes me kind of cringe, you know, when I think about some of the Kemetic scholars. Like you just like, have you guys ever read the book called Who Moved My Cheese? Who Moved My Cheese? When it came out, it was a real popular book because most people unfortunately can't really read that good. Yeah, most people are like have like a 4th to 6th grade like reading level. That's the average reading level in America is like 5th grade, right? Unfortunately, these are just the facts, right? And so Who Moved My Cheese came out and it was like really big words. When I say really big, I mean the words were like that. Like it was just a few, like maybe a sentence or so, you know, on each page. And the story was real profound though. You know, the story was really profound, really inspiring. So it was a dope concept. The book sold a bazillion. I'm sure the person who wrote it got rich, or at least their publishers did. But the story was about two mice, roughly paraphrasing. I read this book years ago. But it's about two mice, and they were digging looking for cheese. And moral of the story, because I don't remember the whole, but the main thing is that the mouse had stopped. Like he was looking. Like he was looking for a long time, making these tunnels. And when he got right, literally, like the cheese was literally, if he would have just scratched a little bit more, he would have broke open to like mad cheese. But he quit right there, you know. And that's the story of a lot of people in, you know, whatever their dream is, you know, whatever your profession is, you know, sometimes you don't make it, not because you weren't physically or mentally gifted enough, but your work ethic just is not there. You don't work hard enough. Like you don't work hard enough. You know, you're weak. And people just don't know how to work, especially for themselves. Like that's the biggest thing with entrepreneurs. I don't know if people really know that or not, but 99% of entrepreneurs fail because they don't have the work ethic. You don't realize that when you have a job, the job is a guaranteed money. If you work this many hours, we're going to sit this out for you, like a dog. You know, your dog is, this food is going to sit out. You're going to sit the food out for your dog, right? But when you're being an entrepreneur and you're starting something that doesn't exist, there's no money there. You have to create it. So you have to work 2 to 3 times as hard, right? So that means going from 8 hours a day to 16 or more hours a day. Like, a lot of people think that entrepreneur means somehow I'm working less than whatever. So I just feel like a lot of people in the scholarship space, they go right there and, you know, they just miss the whole, you know, thing. But anyway, a lot of scholars will tell you that most of the culture, iconograph, you know, like the art, the visuals, you know, the mythology, the religion, like a lot of what we know of as culture in the Greco-Roman era, that later on is now, you know, the classical era for Europeans, right? That came from Kemet. A lot of that stuff is Egyptian in origin, right? And so it trips me out when Valentine's Day comes around. It never fails. You get a whole bunch of these Black scholars, right? I'm not celebrating the white man's holiday. You know, Valentine's Day is the white man's holiday. Yeah. And, you know, the white man and blah, blah, blah. You know, Valentine's Day is not even really you know, a love holiday. Valentine's Day is about Lupercalia, you know, the wolf. And in Rome, they used to have sex parties and orgies and blah, 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 blah. And, you know, I'm just making it my business now. You know, hopefully at some point it kicks in, right? There's only, listen to me, and I challenge anybody on earth. I challenge anybody on earth to find me one place where you have hearts and you have a wolf. There's no, listen, even if you listen to the Lupercalia stories, right? And see, this is the thing about critical thinking. When you sit there and you listen to folks and you go and they, oh yeah, Valentine's Day is Lupercalia holiday. You know, this is about the wolf and blah and the orgies and blah blah blah. And you know, you go, okay, I get it. It's the same date, right? So that's what that's based on. It's the same date. You know, it's early February, mid-February, February 14th. Okay, cool. But what else you got? What else you got? Like, how does this go from the wolf and the orgy to hearts, Cupid? Like, where's Cupid come in? Yeah, where does Cupid come in? And then the hearts, Cupid, and then a wolf. Like, where does that come in? There's only one place. There's only one story on earth. One. where you have a wolf and a hart, right? And that is the weighing of the heart ceremony. That's what that is. Now, a lot of you are confused about the Greco-Roman invasion into Egypt, right? It wasn't the same type of colonization as what you see in today's time. In today's time, Europeans are the military might. So they coming into your country, that's what it is, bro. They just coming into your country, they doing what they do, and then that's that. That was not the case then, right? The Greeks developed sun medicine, heliotherapy. Listen to this. The Greeks developed heliotherapy based on going to war with the Egyptians and the other North African folks, because Egypt wasn't the only fly place in Africa. You know what I'm saying? So, and they realized that the bones of these black soldiers, these black warriors, was like way harder, literally, than their own. And I'm talking about they're doing autopsies, like they're capturing dead black warriors, and they're testing them up against their dead, like they're testing these skulls, and they're like, yo, these skulls are thicker and harder and heavier. Like, what the hell is this? Right? And so they learn, things about the sun and using the sun for medicine. They develop heliotherapy out of the battlefield, right? So the relationship of Greek and Rome to ancient Egypt is in the suckling of the twins and the wolf, right? We don't understand that story. When you see Remus, or Romulus rather, and Remus, they got lost, and then the wolf took them in and raised them in breath. That wolf is Anubis. That wolf is Anubis. Anubis is the god of the pyramids, the god of Giza. I don't know if y'all know that, right? But now you do. So the most famous place of black people on earth, Osiris is not the god of Giza. In fact, Anubis is probably, if you ask me, right? And I'm talking about not in like a happenstance, like scientifically. If you ask me, based on all my research, Anubis is the secret. Anubis is the secret. So when we talked about Horus, right, and how the Greeks transformed Horus into the little boy with like this, and Horus went from the resurrector of the true and living. So you know how the Bible talks about resurrection, like people will physically die and then there'll be a resurrection at some point. That wasn't the Horus concept. The Horus concept was like Elijah Muhammad kind of vibe, like Father Allah kind of vibe. Like people are mentally dead, and so Horus is going to resurrect the mentally dead and the physically sick. Because if you're physically sick, you were also mentally dead. That's how that was, right? Or you were mentally dying, right? Because they understood back then the mind is a projection of the physical body. So that's where, you know, you get into the ba and the ka and trying to understand, you know, if you're not really in that space and you just, you know, surface, you ain't going to really fully understand what I'm saying. But this is the reason why they kind of get rid of all the organs except for the heart. Anyway, point being, Anubis was the guy. And the Greeks referred to the Egyptians as the burnt face people, right? Or the black-headed people, just kind of like how they referred to the people from Sumer, right? Cool. You still got folks do that now. In fact, don't get all crazy with it, because we have light-skinned black folks that say that about dark-skinned black folks. So it's not like having dark skin is a thing. It's a vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like it's special. It's unique, right? It is special though, right? So they were referred to as the dog people. And this is how the name stuck with the little group that became the doggone people. You know what I'm saying? But all of the people in that area worshipped the dog, the great dog. And that's where the Israelites get this idea of Lion of Judah, right? But they don't want to, you know, the authors that threw that together, they didn't want to put that together. Hold on for 1 second. So Anubis is the god of Giza, right? Today it's called Giza anyway. Back in the day, it was Rostyle, right? So even when you go, like they would, if the Kemetic, the original Kemetic Cometian people was here, like, so when you read their text, the pyramid text, this, that, Anubis is the god of Rostyle, which now we call Giza, right? Which is the reason why we know that the Sphinx is actually Anubis, not a lion, right? Because one thing we know for sure, two things for certain, if you look at the Metal Netra, if you look at the pyramid text, coffin text, etc., they had a very specific way that they represented everything. And if you were going to be a scribe or artist, you had to learn to draw this like this. It wasn't like how now, you know, like if you line up 10 different artists and you say draw a lion, you know, they all will interpret lion their own way. And no. That's not how that went. There was no drawing a lion its own way. This is how we depict lions. So this is what a lion looks like. Draw this way, right? The way the Sphinx is, that's not a lion. That's Anubis, right? But Anubis holds a huge secret, which we won't talk about right now. You know, if you grab it, it's in that updated, which is not out yet. It's not even published yet. It'll be published probably in another day or two. The Horus and Set, you know, living proof book, right? But my point is, today is definitely Anubis Day, right? You're celebrating the wolf and the weighing of the heart ceremony. And who better to weigh your heart in real time than your significant other, right? Or lack thereof, right? You know what I'm saying? If you don't have a significant other, it might be because, you know, you got some shit going on with you got to deal with. Right. So anyway, I just wanted to, you know, send some love out to Anubis on Anubis Day. And maybe add some correction for some people that may not have known that today was, you know, baby, you stuck in the middle. You might have just found out that Valentine's Day is not really Valentine's Day and it's Lupercalia Day, the wolf, and blah, 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 blah. So now you know. The wolf is Anubis. Remus and Romulus, the wolf that they say found him in, that's all the story of social, you know. These are wandering tribes that didn't have anywhere to go. They didn't have a culture. They came into Egypt, Kemet, Giza, right? They came and got love. They got taken in and, you know, fed, you know, now when they get fed and once we take care of them, they, you know how it is in the real world. You know, this is a thing in the real world today. Like this disease is still within people, and it's not in white folks, it's in black folks, it's in red folks, it's in yellow folks, it's in people. It's a human disease. The person that's nicest to us, like the person that takes care of us, hooks us up, whatever the case may be, we resent that for some reason. Like we have mental illness. Like we want to be the person. Like I think it's too much rap music. You know, we're hearing too much boss shit and all that. So now we can't even process somebody being nice to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, so somebody nice to us, we don't receive the kindness. We project kindness, meaning weakness, right? And instead of being appreciative, what we want to do is we feel anger because we're not in a position as like a boss to take care of others. So now we jealous and we just want to usurp that person. You know what I'm saying? So it gets weird, but that's kind of what happened in Rome, right? Rome was taken in by Egypt, the dog people, you know, the Greek folks, educated, you know, and they plotted, schemed, colonized, and never looked back. Plotted, schemed, colonized, and never looked back. Actually, you know what? That's not true. Because the thing that's most different, and I'm going to be done with it, and then we're going to get to this work. But the thing that's most different with the colonization process then was they haven't got the juice still. It's 2,500 years later. They still have not got all the juice from Kemet. And they know now the juice is buried in our DNA. So they got to get it from us, which is a part of this, the social media setup, you know. So this is the reason why they flag certain pages, hint, hint, wink, wink, because they know there's genius that they still need to steal, right? And so we're going to go into some of that shortly. I'm on that list, right, of genius that needs to be siphoned, right? And but the whole country, right? The red, white, and blue colors, the red, white, and blue comes from Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Like the pyramid, like our money, you know what I'm saying? Like the dollar bill is, you might see the dollar bill as the dollar, so it's nothing, right? But remember, one is first. First is your base. That's your foundation. So the pyramid being on the base of the strongest currency in the world, like that's, anyway. So let's get to the EnQi cycle. let's get to the EnQi cycle. Oh, yeah. Nah, it's in the new book. Yeah, it's in the new book. You know what I'm saying? The new updated Horus and Set transaction. So remember, there's the Cliff Notes, which you don't really need. There's the Master Edition, and then there's the backup to the Master Edition, which is the Horus and Set transaction. That has all of the proofs and some juice. You got the proofs for the Master Edition, but it also has some juice of its own in there. It has some juice of its own in there. Because I didn't put, over the years, I cringe so much listening to people justify bringing in homosexuality into spirituality, right? And if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know how long I've been going at it with these chakra guys, right? For that reason, right? Well, not just for that reason, but that's like the top of the top reasons. But every so often, going back and forth in these debates, it pops up. Well, you know, the ancient Kemetic gods was all gay. I'm like, whoa, wow, what are we doing? Right? And they go, well, not all of them, but definitely Horus and Set. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we had to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? We have to deal with that whole transaction. That's the best. that's the best way I could put it. That whole transaction. You know what I'm saying? We had to go through that whole transaction. You know what I'm saying? And break that down so that people would know. Stop doing that. Like, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. That's not what you think it is. That's not what you think it is. And because you guys don't understand what you're looking at, and the problem, you know what it is? I don't blame the people that are getting duped, that they don't know any better. I don't blame the people that attempt to use that information. I blame, again, the Brother Kabbas, the Professor Smalls, the Ashwa Kwazis, the Tony Browders, Jabari. I blame these guys. Because these are the guys that set themselves up as the authorities on Kemetic science, and they don't know any Kemetic science. They don't. They don't know any Kemetic science, bro. And I know some of y'all, that is offensive to hear that, because y'all have a great deal of respect for these guys, but they do not. Right? What they're doing, listen to what I'm telling you. What these guys are excellent at, legends. I mean, I will bow in the presence of some of these men for their contributions to the historical narrative, right? Archaeology, you know, looking at rocks and saying, yeah, look at this rock, and you know, this rock right here. Yeah. This rock right here. Oh yeah, the Greeks thought this was their rock, but no, this was our rock because, you know, yeah. So they're good at stuff like that, you know, arguing about which religion, you know, like, great. We get it. Jesus is Horus. I'm ready to throw up already if I hear that one more time. Somebody talking about they've been studying 40 or 50 years and they've come up with it. Oh, we've got it. Some of these stories in the Bible come from Egypt. Nigga. You just want to slap some of these old niggas. Like, if you tell that story one more time, I'm going to beat you. But that is not Kemetic science. Okay? That's not science. Right? There's a science to what you guys are doing, but that's not science. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not science. Right? And so that's my problem, that those guys that profess to be the experts, they have not properly explained the Horus and Set story. So because they haven't properly explained it, the people at large get to run wild and just say anything. Bro, I'm gonna be honest, they don't. I agree with your statement at large, but that is not true. They all just need to come and follow Dr. EnQi. And for a long time, I always shunned away from like people following me. But I realized that I was ignoring my calling. And because I haven't stepped up to the forefront, just say, you know what, just follow me. People are all over the place. So what the problem is they have to get over themselves. This is the thing where, you know, this is what it means for the meek to inherit the earth. The meek inheriting the earth doesn't mean like Meek Mill is going to inherit the earth, or that like a cowering little wimp is going to inherit the earth. No, it's the stone you threw away. See, that's me. I'm the stone that they threw away. And I don't know if, I'm be honest, I don't know if God is doing it as a punishment for all those niggas. Or a blessing for me, right? I don't know if this is a curse for the rest of the world or a blessing for me, right? But the reality is, you got to come see me. You got to come to me. God's mouth to my ear. You got to come get it from me. Yeah. So, because people don't like my delivery, because I hurt people's feelings, because I be cussing folks out, because I don't have, you know, like that kiss ass kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't mind being humble, you know what I'm saying, and letting my guys shine around me. You know, especially if I'm trying to invest in you. You know, I've put plenty of people in front of me to let them go. From Abundance Child to Polite to Asa to KT to, you know, all kinds of people all over the place. You know, and in their presence, I like to be second, you know, quiet, you know, because I want you to shine and you be out there and go to the moon. You know what I'm saying? That's always been my thing. Just my the way I was raised, and, you know, I was always had an aversion to this type of, you know, like, you know, pictures and camera and like, you know, chill, stop recording me, nigga. Like that's me. Yo, stop recording me, nigga. So, but you know, once I did what I did with Amber, like that was the struggle. When people seen what I did with Amber, people forced me into this. I'm the opposite story of all these guys. A lot of these guys, like, you know, Yaki talking about he was snorting cocaine and then he got shot and then he started to sell the herbs, and like 2 months later, he started selling herbs. No, bro. What happened is you became a junkie, right? You can't get high off your own supply. So you was a drug dealer and a rapper. This literally is Yaki's truth. He was a drug using dealer that was trying to rap. The same manager he had while he was using coke, selling coke, and getting shot is the same manager he got now. Once that nigga got shot and almost died off the cocaine, he was like, yeah, you know what? We see this King Erna nigga. If King Erna could sell that CMOS, you can sell this CMOS, Yaki, and get your ass on out there. Do the same thing King Erna did. Just watch this guy here. Yeah, his name is EnQi. Study EnQi. Do what EnQi does. You're good. But yeah. So, and you know what? So I'm off that. I'm off that. Right. I'm trying to behave 2024. Right. Trying to subdue my passions. Working on that. Right. But my point is, I blame the guys that have positioned themselves as experts that haven't provided adequate explanations to deal with that. Yeah. You know what? Y'all want me to just go into the Horus set? No, you know what? No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that tonight. We're not doing that tonight. What we're going to do is we're going to do what I had planned, which is we're going to talk about how these folks is literally 10 steps behind us. But when I tell y'all, see, listen, when I was in Philly, right? Listen, again, y'all don't believe. See, you know what a part of this problem is? Y'all don't really believe in yourselves as much as y'all should. So it's hard for y'all to believe in me. If you don't believe in you, I have to respect the fact that you can't believe in me. I had a close friend, you know what I'm saying? One of my guys, but I recently had to cut him off. And I had to cut him off because he can't help himself but talking negative sometimes. And in order to do what I do, you really have to lock out a lot of that negativity. You have to lock it out. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm doing the impossible like 5 times a week. I'm doing like shit that can never be done. I'm doing that shit like 5-6 times a week, bro. Like I can't live in your world of doubt because I'm doing things that you probably can't imagine a person could do like every day. That's my regular life. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you just got to block it out. You know what I'm saying? But I'm such a common person. You know, I'm the common person. So it's hard for people to believe this. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I can understand it and respect it is because I wrestle with it myself. Sometimes I have to like I gotta slap if I didn't have these glasses on, I'll slap myself. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I have to. Because I can't even believe sometimes what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you this story. And I told the story before, so some of y'all heard the story. But if you haven't heard the story, you need to hear the story because it's gotten worse or better. You decide. But when I was in Philly, and I try to make it short, right? When I was in Philly and I'm teaching in Black and Nobel, right? I was doing Sunday school. Now, since then, a lot of people done bit the style and stole my, Sunday school. And I'm like, yo, you niggas look goofy stealing my concept. And how you doing Sunday school? I'm like, it don't even make sense for you to be doing a Sunday school. I'm an ordained minister teaching the basic dietary regimen that is found in the Bible. So when so as Minister EnQi teaching Sundays, like, nigga, this is like a no-brainer. Like I'm, like the concept, you just John Q Street guy that watched me and you think you think we the same, so you just running and flipping and bouncing. Much like anyway. So I'm doing a Sunday school and it was always like an old dirty man respectfully. You know what I'm saying? Not dirty, but like bummy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was weird. Only in New York and Philly and certain cities do you see like you. It's hard to know who's a real bum and who's not, because bums be having expensive clothes on. So, it gets hard to figure out who's who. But anyway, this guy would and he would have on some, like, his jackets would be nice, but he was like bummy with, like, it's hard to explain. But anyway, he would come to the classes and he would sleep. He would just come to Sunday school class and sleep. He would put his little tape recorder on the table, like an old school tape recorder, and he'd go to sleep. And, sometimes he'll get up at the end of the class. Sometimes we got to wake him up. I didn't care. I was teaching everybody. You know what I'm saying? So that's that, right? So we're just going to put that on the table, put that down for a second. Now, as I'm teaching the classes, right, the same as I'm doing now. The only thing is, obviously, I wasn't on Amazon, right? I was doing my own publishing. But as I'm going through now, mind you, Black and Nobel is selling my books, right? And the books are selling. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to put the books back in there. You know what I'm saying? When they all gone. So the books is going. They slowly but surely, but the books are going. So I'm getting excited as Hawk is telling me, like, yo, we got to get more books. I'm like, oh shit, okay, this is lit. I'm not getting excited for the money because I wasn't really making, it wasn't the profit, that was never been my, it was about the fact that now I'm feeling empowered in terms of teaching, because my limit for teaching is always how much my audience knows, right? Remember, you don't see with your eyes, you don't hear with your ears, you see and you hear with your mind. This is why if you read a book today and you put that book down, no matter how much you get out of that book, if you go back and read that book again in another year or two, you're going to get mad new information out of it. The book hasn't changed. You have. The more you know, the more you see. Right? So, message, right? So, anyway, I'm excited. I'm thinking that people buying the book, so we ready to go in. So I'm coming in. I'm like, yeah, so, bop, 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 bop. And I'm like, wait, y'all don't, I'm looking around. They don't know what I'm talking about. I'm like, but y'all got the books, right? Nobody's buying the books. My man Maul, he says, yeah, I was trying to get the book, but Hawk said every time I try to buy the book, Hawk keeps saying the book's sold out. I'm like, well, who the fuck? Like, house? And just like now, my world is little. In order for me to take care of my children and do this research, I can't, I don't have much time for anything else. So even my guys be hitting me up. They're like, yo, you seen what's happening with this or that, or you heard about the Knicks or Floyd Mayweather or this and that. I'm like, fill me in, nigga. Fill me in. Now, if you want to know about mitochondria, nigga, I got you on the latest update. Drake, Kanye just dropped the album. I haven't heard one song yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, after class leave, I go up to Hawk. I'm like, yo, Hawk, what are you doing, bro? Now, Hawk is one of those niggas that, shout out to him. God bless his soul. But Hawk, Hawk is one of those guys that just, you just never know Hawk. Put it that way, right? I'm like, yo, Hawk, where's all the books going? He said, bro, you don't know? I said, no, I don't know. How I'm going to know if you don't tell me? He's like, bro, all these kids keep coming up from the school here, all these pre-med students, and all the pre-med students is the ones that's buying your books. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Pre-med students buying my books. I'm thinking he confused. I'm like, nigga, my books? How do they even know to buy my books? I don't go down to, I forgot what the name of the college is. It's gonna pop in my mind in a second. But it's in Philly. You know what I'm saying? Right down on Broad. You know what I'm saying? Closer down to where the movie theater is, if you know anything about Philly, right? But he's like, yeah, so they pre-med students is buying your shit. And this is like early 2000s. It's like about 20 years ago, 15 years ago. He's like, yo, I'm telling you, they just come here and they buy whatever's on the shelf, bro. They don't even care about the price or none of that. So when he said that, I know he was throwing a little juice on the prices probably too. You know what I'm saying? But I had no idea how they heard of me. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't going down to no college, nothing, or, I wasn't doing nothing. Like my routines are, I'm a very routine kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? Whatever my day-to-day is, that's what my day-to-day is. I don't really venture around, and you know what I'm saying? That's a part of my way that I stay safe. You know what I'm saying? I keep the main thing, and that's how I move. So now I'm curious. I'm trying to figure out how the hell. So anyway, I just get more books, and this time what I started doing is giving Hawk some of my books and then keeping some of my books. And after Sunday school, now I'm like, hey, I got some books right here on the table. If y'all want to get the books, y'all can get some books right here. These are only for the people that come here and support the Sunday school class. You know what I'm saying? So I'll have some for y'all or whatever the case may be. And that's how that was. That was the end of that. Months goes by. And this guy, I bump into him on the I think it was the orange line. Yeah, I think it was the orange line that goes all the way uptown to like where the hospital is. I think it's Broad, and my Philly shit is really rusty right now. I ain't been in Philly in so long. But I think it's Broad and Albany. It's like the stop before last where the big hospital is at right there. The craziest thing is I used to live up there, and that's where they sell like the most heroin and crack. Anyway, I'm getting off the train and I see the sleepy guy, the guy that used to do the recordings. I see the sleepy guy. He getting off the train too. So now, I walk over to him and, hit him with a little elbow. He like, oh, no, Minister EnQi, what's going on, bro? What you doing over here? I'm like, what you doing over here? I live over here. You know what I'm saying? I live off the next stop. But I used to get off the train one stop early because right next to the hospital, they had a truck of smoothies. You know what I'm saying? It was a Korean lady over there, and she used to blend up, I'm talking about she had everything on that truck, and they used to make 32 ounces, no matter what you wanted, $5. Woo! It was days where I didn't have nothing but them. Period. You know what I'm saying? Like down by Black and Noble, they had the same type of I don't know how this thing popped off, but they had smoothie trucks out in Philly. Like, you know how they got the little icy trucks in New York? They had smoothies, like people with blenders and fruits and vegetables. Like they had smoothie trucks. Now, down by Black and Noble, $5 will get you a nice 16-ounce joint. Up by, thank you, Osborne, Temple University. Up by where I used to live at, they gave you the 32-ounce. Or maybe that was just me and Jason. She might have just been showing us the love. But either way, I stopped early to get off the train right there. I bumped into the old guy. So the old guy was like, man, I've been trying to catch you. I'm like, what do you mean you've been trying to catch me? You come to the class every week and go to sleep, nigga. What do you mean you've been trying to catch me? So he's like, yeah, I know I'll be working hard. You know what I'm saying? I work in a hospital or something he was saying. He's with some medical, whatever. He was like, anyway, listen. I've been taking the recordings from your class you know, I'm a part of the staff at Temple University. We think this nigga's a bum. The fucking blood clot. We thinking this nigga some type of, you know what I'm saying? This nigga looking raggedy and scruffy. He just one of them guys that's really kind of like me. He just so driven by what he ain't into no material, nothing, no whatever. But he got on some nice pieces though. It just, he looked raggedy in it, how he carried it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, he like, yeah, you know, I'm staffed down at Temple. And, you know, I take those recordings and, you know, I listen to them too, but, you know, I think it's important what you're doing. So I want the whole next generation of young doctors, especially coming from this community, you know, they need to hear your teachings. I'm like, I'm blown away. I'm all the way fucked up. I went home that night and like I cried a little bit. Like that was a thing for me. Like I was really fucked up. That, you know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't believe that. Like he believed in me more at that time, way more than I believed in me. It's in my mind. I was like, "You doing what with my tapes?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah," and they love it. They've been buying the books and everything. I'm like, 2 + 2 finally equals 4. This slick nigga here is the reason why all these kids is coming up here buying my books. Now I figured out. So anyway, we have more conversations after that. You know what I'm saying? And eventually he invites me down to Temple. And that's how I got to Temple. And I was teaching the staff there. You know what I'm saying? I did a couple lectures there where I was teaching the teachers there. You know what I'm saying? So that reinforced my cockiness, but also in a refreshing way, I realized it really is not about no pieces of paper. You know what I'm saying? Because here it is. I didn't go to college. And at the time that I was at Temple, I was not a doctor. I would never have went to school to get no naturopathic nothing or no piece of paper. The only reason I did that is because Asa kind of pushed me towards it. But then also Tony at the time and Amber at the time. You know, those were my next big babies. You know, Alexis was kind of already grown. Ari was kind of already grown. But I did have Tony and then, you know, Amber and then James right behind. So I had them three looking at me. And I didn't want them, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to be able to show them a piece of paper so that way they would go ahead and go to school, you know, get you a piece of paper, you know what I'm saying? That, you know, can get you a few dollars somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Like, but at the time, I was just Minister EnQi. And literally, I'm teaching the PhDs and shit. And they could not get a fucking enough of this shit. They could not get enough. They was like, yo, you got to come back next week. And you got to come back next week. Yo, we got to get him on permanently up in here. I'm like, oh, whoa. Y'all got to relax is what y'all got to do. Because I'm coming down here. And when I'm coming down here now, I'm not up to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not in Broad and, you know, I'm not on Broad and what was that? It wasn't Broad and Albany. It was, what was Black and Nobel? Broad and Erie. I'm not in Broad and Erie. You know what I'm saying? And Broad and Erie is like, I ain't gonna say ground zero, but Broad and Erie is definitely the hood. If you saw the new Will Smith movie, the new Will Smith TV show, like the first season where the new Will, like they show where he's at and all that, that's right across the street from Black and Nobel. That whole cheesesteak place and all that, like that's literally, like we used to eat right around the corner from there. They had a pizza shop that had, you know, remotely cooked clean food. You know, they had the veggie burgers, a couple different varieties, and some brown rice and a few other little pieces. But this is a pizza shop. So anyway, I did maybe, I don't know, maybe 3-4 classes there, like week, after week after week. And then but in my mind, you know what I'm saying? That was an experience for me. You know what I'm saying? And I've had lots of experiences like that. So I know at a certain point, it's just about what you know. It's really not about pieces of paper. So anyway, you guys have now had that experience because we was minding our business, right? Fast forward, I don't know, 2016, 2017, we're doing our thing, 60 and 60. 2018, I believe, we come out with the pamphlets. Hey, everybody, do 60 and 60 with us. But remember, the pamphlets came out after we had already been doing it for a while. You know what I'm saying? So we put out a little hey, everybody, 60 and 60 with us. Soul crafting, hormesis. People like, what is a hormesis? Hormesis? Did he make that up? Is he making up shit again? Is he? Right? What happens? Was that 2019, 2020 or something like that? Harvard released a study that says, you have a 96% reduction in cardiovascular disease risk if you could do 60 push-ups in 40 push-ups in 60 seconds. Literally right after us. And I'm like, yo, I gotta be the GOAT after that. We've never heard of no 96% reduction in anything before. Come on. Right on my heel. So anyway, we've been talking for an hour and we didn't even get to the main thing. So what's the new thing? The NIH, right? I want to say a year and a half after we dropped our stuff, right? The electromagnetic tissue article, right? That everybody went to, they dropped their article. And I had it in my back pocket all this time, just waiting to just slap somebody. Like, in this argumentative debate culture, sometimes you have to have stuff in your pocket so that when people run up on you and say, yo, that's not, you could go, you know what I'm saying? Just hit them with the Babe Ruth. Like, I'm going to put this one. This is going in the parking lot. Come on. All right. I'm going to put this one in the parking lot for you. So that's what I wanted to do today is start the conversation. It's a long article and we've wasted enough time listening to me and my super handsome, amazingly handsome self. Right? All right. So let's go through some of this. We'll start this conversation and we'll, So if you got the book, if you got the Cliff Notes, it's on page 361, right? If you got the Master Edition, I don't know what page it's on because I don't have it yet. If you don't have either book, you kind of just hanging out. Yeah, you kind of just hanging out, right? So here's that. Right. All right. So African Americans are disproportionately burdened by metabolic diseases. While largely unexplored between Caucasian and African Americans, differences in mitochondrial bioenergetics may provide crucial insight to mechanisms for increased susceptibility to metabolic diseases. That's mad disrespectful, right? They're going to say largely unexplored. When they say largely unexplored, that means they know goddamn well it's been explored, but they trying to take the credit, but at the same time, they don't want to say that they know. So they largely no one is really, yeah, because the scientific journals is blackballing the nigga. Because, yeah, you got to have connections to get through these journals. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, say for instance, I had stuck around and become a part of the Temple University family or something like that, I would have no problem getting my shit into a scientific journal. But being the doctor with the gold teeth from 158th Street, they like, yeah, send me that article. Now we're gonna take a look at it. Send it in, and then we'll take a look at it and get back to you. And so I sends it in so they could look at it. I'm thinking, yeah, we might get published. It's just how they used to do niggas demo tapes. They're like, oh yeah, send that demo in. Niggas gonna listen to that and be like, ooh, that's fire. Let's redo that song. Not let's sign the artist. Like, let's steal this. Yeah. That's what they do with your shit. So anyway, blah, 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 blah. Actually, we can read that again. While largely unexplored between Caucasians and African Americans, differences in mitochondrial bioenergetics may provide crucial insight to mechanisms for increased susceptibility to metabolic diseases. African Americans display lower total energy expenditure and resting metabolic rate compared to Caucasians. Okay? Let me make that plain for some of the niggas in the back. That's why I said we're not going to get through this, you know what I'm saying, tonight, but we're going to start the conversation. When they say African Americans display lower total energy expenditure and resting metabolic rate compared to Caucasians, what they're saying is, because I don't want you to think that that means that black folks are lazy, right? That was out there. That's part of that slavery, Charles Darwin dumb shit that Brother Kaba, you know, that niggas love. Oh, Brother Kaba so deep. Stop it, bro. He's still teaching that Darwin bullshit. But anyway, what they're saying is that if a black man, average black man, picks up 100-pound, I don't know, I was going to say bottle of juice, but there's no bottle of juice that's 100 pounds. But just imagine, you know what I'm saying? It's 100-pound sun, right? Black man picks up 100 pounds. White man picks up 100 pounds. The energy that the black man uses to lift up that 100 pounds is less than what the white man would use. If we put that in the analogy of like a car, what they're saying is that a black man can drive 100 miles and maybe use 1/4 of a gallon of gas, while a white man, to get that same distance of 100 miles, he might have to use 2 quarts of gas, right? So they both went to the 100. They both drove the same distance, same speed and all that. Only thing is, it cost more fuel for the white body to perform the same job. Okay. Now, respectfully, they didn't need no science for that because they knew that back in the plantation days when they had the Irish niggas in the sugar plantation with the black niggas. The Irish folks was dying a little faster than the black folks. Now, amongst all the white folks, Irish folks was like super niggas, you know, because they are like the strongest white folks. They no white folks could last in the sugar plantations at all, except Irish niggas. Yeah, so they got some other shit going on with them, but we figured it out with the blue magic sea moss. That's what's going on with those Irish niggas. But that's another conversation. Anyway, so don't sleep on them Irish niggas. Tell me. Case back to live action. So I want y'all to get this analogy because this plays a crucial key in understanding the EnQi cycle, right? The EnQi cycle literally is how melanin and water are producing energy inside the cell, separate from food and all this and all that. This is, I don't even want to say primary to like the tricarboxylic acid cycle and cellular respiration. I want to say this predates. This is before mitochondria was captured by the single cells and started to even get complicated and all that, right? Because we had shit going on in the cell before mitochondria, right? Your cells can produce ATP without mitochondria. It's just mitochondria made it go crazy. Like literally, it poops out. It poops out what we use for energy, right? So the ATP that the mitochondria just poops out, you know what I'm saying, is like what we, our cells use for energy. So it's a perfect relationship. And what we didn't need is what they needed to eat, and what they get rid of after they eat is what we need to eat. So it was like a match made in heaven, kind of like humans and plants. We get rid of CO2, the plants breathe in CO2. The plants get rid of oxygen, we breathe in oxygen. That's kind of how our cells' relationship is with the mitochondria. The mitochondria needs those electrons. We don't need, our cells doesn't really use electrons like that. So that's where the ideology started to circulate that EnQi's against Dr. Sebi, because I started saying, well, to be correct, Dr. Sebi and Robert Becker are wrong, because they are. The body's not electric, at least not in the way that they teach it, right? The body is luminous, like those old ancient Mason niggas that built the pyramid said. You got a light body. That was actual factual, but nobody stayed in the studio long enough to prove them right until I came along. I'm like, no. The body's not electric. The body's luminous. Body runs on light. You know, you niggas will catch up. Don't worry. Go watch those other fucking idiots. And then, you know, in 10, 20 years, when you hear this from white folks, I guess, then you'll say, oh, yeah, the body runs on light. And then we're going to be looking at you like, you know, EnQi said that like in 2000. You know, EnQi. Yeah. Anyway, so I know I'll be going off on a tangent, right? But the EnQi cycle is the mystery of Max Kleber, because Max Kleber figured out something like 100 years ago, or maybe, I got to look at the dates, but this is a long time ago, maybe the 1800s. So this is over 100 years ago. But he knew there was like a good third of the amount of energy that humans, even animals, were using that had nothing to do with calories in or calories out. Energy was coming from somewhere else in the body. And, you know, you got the pro-black guys that don't really do any research. They just yell out pro-black shit immediately. Oh, melanin! Like, oh, relax, champ. If it's melanin, it's not what you're talking about. So, no, melanin converts light into... I need you niggas to relax. They already did the test. It's animals with fur. These niggas ain't got no melanin on their skin. Like, it's animals with fur, champ. That's the same. This is all life species is having some other type of energy production. You gotta relax. But you know, after we did our stuff and our research, you know, thank you for everybody that sends the cash apps and supports my late packages and all my bullshit. We find out, okay, boom, there's another pathway for energy. We discovered it. We named it. It's the fucking EnQi cycle. Tough. Yeah. That's how it goes. San Francisco gold rush, nigga. You get to the mine first, you get the gold. It's the EnQi cycle now. Right? So, as we go through this article, just know this is what they're talking about. The reason why Black folks doing the same thing as a Caucasian person, all other things equal, use less energy is because of this relationship of melanin and water, right, inside the cell. So let's keep working. Thank you for sharing your story. Hey, I appreciate it. All right, so hold on. Where we at? I'm trying to make me get mushy and shit. All right, so lower total energy expenditure and resting metabolic rate compared to Caucasians, but paradoxically have a higher amount of skeletal muscle mass, suggestive of inherent energetic efficiency differences between the races. So, not only do we perform the same jobs with less energy output, but somehow we have more muscles with less work. So, let's say white guy and black guy, both of them do 100 push-ups a day. Somehow, that 100 push-ups a day is going to make the black guy look way more muscly and cut up than the white guy. Now, if any of you, let me just pause right here for a second. If any of you should happen to have this, if any of you should happen to have this, which is the holistic Bible, right? You would know why that is, right? And I was already developing the EnQi cycle science with this, but I hadn't fully narrowed it down yet. But think about the title of the book. Eat right for your haplotype. They're talking about African Americans and Caucasians. What do I talk about in the book? Polar haplotypes and equatorial haplotypes. Right? And if you have one of these and you go to page, okay, it starts on page 33. Wow. These numbers, I swear to God. But then we go through just some basic diagrams of the haplotype trees. All right, bang. On page 43. The major point is cells that developed in the cold climate created bodies filled with enzymes and biochemical reactions to support life in the cold. Equatorial cells did exactly the same thing in regards to heat. This is completely energy driven, as heat is the sensation of negative ions entering the body, and cold is the sensation of positive ions entering the body. The central biological unit in the body that regulates energy isn't an organ or a gland, it's a bacteria, mitochondria. Ah! Fuck is these niggas talking about? Who's the GOAT? Are you fucking insane? Huh? See, we don't have to fuck around with these people. My shit already written in black and white. This is what I'm saying. Now, if you got this book, if you have this book is no longer in print. Look, she's grown. Amber's grown. Amber's got a baby. She's grown, right? Look at Chase. Chase was like 5 in this picture. Chase is in high school, right? Like this, you can't get this anymore. It's out of print, right? But when did you get yours? 2015, 2016, 2017? This article I'm reading, they just released they shit. And 20 shit has dates on it. So back to the belief thing, right? You niggas don't have to believe that these people with all these, alphabets past their name, and this nigga went to Stanford and this one went to this school and that, blah, 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 blah. You don't gotta believe that they watching this video. Why do you think? Listen, if we got 50 people watching the video, right? We only got like 5 or 6 niggas, maybe 10 that'll be in the chat. Who's these other people? These are niggas stealing the information. And when I say that, y'all always think locally. No, these guys like KT and Yaki, these are the little guys. You know what I'm saying? There's other people that are other people, other institutions. Fuck the flow. They jacking our slang. Y'all just watched Rick Rubin, Andrew Huberman, and Jack Cruz do a whole fucking presentation on my shit. And Jack Cruz talking about I made this discovery. I just made this discovery in late 2023. Oh, well, that's cool, because guess what, champ? We have a paper out from 2019, 2018 that I wrote in 2017, my nigga. They're still up. So you might want to check the paper with Dr. EnQi on human chemiluminescence. Yeah. You didn't just discover a motherfucking thing, champ. You're late to the party. Stop it. Okay? And I could prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that Jack Cruz is a fucking culture vulture, because Jack Cruz, he is famous for the leptin prescription. His whole science, he was fat, 300 pounds. He almost died. He lost weight. His whole story is about him finding out how to maximize leptin. Well, guess what? Leptin is the fucking ops. Okay? Leptin is amazing, I guess, for polar haplotypes, maybe, but not for me. You see how black I am? Okay? Go into your computer and type in leptin versus melanin concentrating hormone. If you type in leptin versus melanin concentrating, you're going to find out that leptin inhibits melanin concentrating hormone. So there's no Jack Cruz been doing none of nothing, nigga, because his whole premise goes against, come on. Anyway, let me read that again. Just so we could, who's the motherfucking GOAT out here. Yeah, you see it right there, right? You see? Yeah, the GOAT. Yeah, let's look at that again. Then we're going to go back to the article. So if you have this, see, we can't fake it once it's in the book, right? Go to page 37. No, it's not 37. Hold on. I'm getting too excited. Find the page. Page 43. The major point is cells that developed in the cold climate created bodies filled with enzymes and biochemical reactions to support life in the cold. Equatorial cells did this exactly the same thing in regards to heat. This is completely energy driven, as heat is the sensation of negative ions entering the body, and cold is the sensation of positive ions entering the body. The central biological unit in the body that regulates energy isn't an organ or a gland, it's a bacteria, mitochondria. Right here. I'm explaining that energy production is totally different. Polar haplotypes, equatorial haplotypes, based on mitochondria function. And all the enzymes and chemical reactions that support and or are based on mitochondria. Yeah. Because I'm the GOAT. There's no other. I told y'all, 2024, we wasn't going to fuck around. You might as well just say, just call me the GOAT. Just don't even say EnQi no more. Just refer to me as GOAT around, yeah. Anyway, we back to the article. All right. African Americans display lower total energy expenditure and resting metabolic rate compared to Caucasians, but paradoxically have a higher amount of skeletal muscle mass, suggestive of inherent energetic efficiency differences between these races. Such adaptations would increase the chances of overnutrition in African Americans. However, these disparities would not explain the racial difference in insulin resistance in healthy subjects. Do you hear that? The difference in insulin resistance in healthy subjects. That's another thing that I was telling you for a long time. The nigga said I was making it up. I told y'all it was some slick shit going on to these pre-diabetic medications. I'm like, well, you have diabetes or you didn't get diabetes yet, but you got the medication. Wait, so you don't have diabetes, but you do have the medication. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. Anyway, right? Hallmarks associated with insulin resistance, such as reduced mitochondrial oxidative capacity and metabolic inflexibility, are present even in healthy African Americans without a metabolic disease. These adaptations might be influential of mitochondria substrate preference. God damn it, I could throw this book out the window. That means that the mitochondria have a different preference for what type of substance you're using, right? Now, let me make that plain. This is for all you goofy niggas over the years that been asking me, yo, EnQi, what do you think about trying the paleo? I just, because I'm from the Bronx, you know what I'm saying? I'll be 47 this year. I was born in 77. Me and rap is like twin brothers. We was born in the same place, same time. So I think in rhyme. I have to unwrap. Like, how when you learn a second language, you still think in your primary language, and then you gotta you gotta translate it into my primary language is rap. So I have to so every so often these quotes that are just in my brain, they just, you know what I'm saying? So niggas like, yo, we should try this paleo. EnQi, what do you think about that? Those ain't Rolex diamonds. What the fuck you done to that? I'm like, what, why? What do you do? Who told you that? What are you talking about? Didn't I just show you did you get the books? So you listen to the videos, you bought the herbs, you got the books, and somehow you want to know if you should try out the paleo. Okay. I failed somewhere as a teacher, or maybe you're failing as a student. You're purchasing the books, but maybe you're not actually reading the books. Listen, I want you to go and try to read the books. Let's try to read the books. See, if you go read the books, you'll be straight. But this is how y'all see me over the years, and this is something y'all never noticed, right? Watch this. Y'all never noticed this, but now that I'm going to say it, you're going to be like, yo, that's true. Watch this. When I was with Ali, right? When y'all think of Ali Muhammad, when y'all think of like the classic Ali Muhammad that had the flyest scientific, when he was on top of his shit, you will notice that that's when he was partnered up with me. Shortly after we split ways, the research gets different. It gets different. Classic Polite. Oh, Polite used to be killing them. Oh my God, he was killing them at the debates with the lectures, with the science, dropping the Hebrew and He was. What happened when I split away from Polite? Polite went from teaching Hebrew to debating Hebrews. He went from teaching science to what? He teaching you about a UCC and real estate and sovereignty. Why? Why wasn't he still continuing to teach science after we split ways? Because he didn't know it. I was in the back. You know what I'm saying? I was on my Quentin Miller shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. KT the ARC degree. Oh, KT is fire. Okay. When we go like this, that information gonna get real different over there. The video's gonna stop coming out as often. It's gonna seem like a lot of repackaged shit we heard before. How come EnQi is the only one that continues to put out brand new fucking research? Alone! I don't need nobody but you niggas. Yeah. And my babies to run around and keep me, motivated. So that should tell you. Yeah. You've seen that movie over and over again. EnQi's partnered up with a nigga. He seems like the most intelligent nigga on earth. As soon as he separates from EnQi, it's a huge drop-off. Like, drop-off is crazy. Yeah, drop-off is crazy. It's like, yo, did y'all see that show Limitless? I'm like the Limitless pill. When niggas got the Limitless pills, woo! When I cuts off niggas supply of Limitless. Oh, nigga. Okay, so hold on. Let me get back to the work. All right, so anyway, we focusing. All right. Oh, no. I got to go back to talking my shit because that was important. Actually, that was important. All right, so it's not just you guys that were trying to do the paleo. The worst thing was the keto. Oh, my God. And keto was such a fucking cancer. Finally, this article is going to help eliminate this idea of keto from your brain. Because people ask me about keto, I keep referring them back to the Eat Right book. But again, I'm going to tell you what stops them. The gold teeth, the cuss words, the rap songs, the outfits, the fact that you could hear my chain, you know what I'm saying? Like all these things that you associate with hood, you don't associate genius with hood. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for people to accept. I'm saying make a left. And then you got guys like historical figures like Otto Warburg. Otto Warburg discovers, cancer cells can't survive on, all this other, these guys that academia venerates as the greatest, of all time, right? Y'all are uncomfortable putting up y'all goat against they goat. And I'm trying to tell you, amongst all the goats, I'm the Billy goat. Yeah, I'm the bad, I'm the wild goat on top of the mountain, nigga. Yeah. When it says that mitochondria has a preference for substrates, that's the same thing that I was explaining to you. That's the same thing that Dr. Sebi was saying. But Sebi, again, God rest his soul in greatness, right? He did not know the science underneath. And as far as he was concerned, he didn't need to. I know how to heal people. I can heal the unhealable. I don't need to learn anymore. Shit, I know what I know. My mind, the way my mind is just like a plague. Like I have to learn the whole thing. Like I need to know it. So that's the only difference. But that's what he was trying to explain with his version of the story. You know, the gorillas and the polar bears. You know what I'm saying? But the regurgitators, they didn't know any more than the story he told. The gorilla and the polar bear, they didn't know what the fuck that is. None of these niggas. They didn't know what single nucleotide polymorphisms are. If you don't know what a single nucleotide polymorphism is, then you don't understand what a haplotype is. So you're not going to understand why the fuck you got to knock off the keto shit. Right? Yeah, because that's basically what we're saying. That's what that is. The single nucleotide polymorphisms means that the DNA, the genetics of the folks in the code, they're going to develop based on the resources available to them there. What is there in the code? There's no fruits and vegetables. They don't have an option. They're eating anything that comes by. That's what polar haplotypes, that's how they evolved and survived over the years. They ate anything that was walking. Flesh. And when there was nothing walking by, they start looking at each other and, hey, the weakest one out of the crew, hey, we're going to have to cook this nigga. We're going to pray over you, and we're going to thank God that you're becoming a part of us forever as we consume you. You know, shit like that. They made up stories to make it okay to eat niggas, but they had to eat each other. Yeah. At the equator, we did not. I got to tell this 1,000 times for niggas to get it, because goofy niggas like Brother Kaba, Booker T. Coleman is still teaching out of Africa theory. There is no such a thing as that. I can't believe it lasted this long in the black community. Like, y'all act like y'all don't know yourselves. Just think about yourself. Think about you. Think about you. Look, here's the part of the story that never made sense to me from the very first time I heard it. And it had nothing to do with those deep levels of fucking science, bro. I'm explaining this shit to you. The story is black people were curious. So we wanted to explore. And we started to walking out of Africa. Listen now. We started to, now mind you, in Africa, we all damn near buck naked. Like we just got on shit just to have on shit. Like we got a little grass, linen, you know, like we got on 100-degree shit. So we basically naked. So now we start to walking out of Africa with women and children. Walking out of Africa. And we walked and walked and walked. And walked and walked and walked till it got cold. And we ran out of food. And we kept on walking and walking and walking to the north fucking what? To Russia, nigga? To Alaska, nigga? Are you fucking insane? No. No black people would nigga, no. When I heard that story, I was immediately like, this is why I got in trouble in school. Now I could verify I was in the top classes, not just the top classes, in top schools, top programs, even in high school. When I was in DeWitt Clinton, I was in the Macy program. The Macy program was running the same classes as Bronx Science. If you're from New York, you know what I'm saying. If not, you may not know. But if you know, you know. Yeah. So my hand just go up. The teacher already knows. The teachers used to call on me like this. They're ready now. I'm getting ready to bust their ass. And they're like, I'm sorry. So you said the the Africans, they walked from Africa to what? To past the 52nd parallel? Wait, so they walked to Russia? You mean when they ran out of food or it started to get cold, nobody? You telling me nobody? You telling me the niggas that built pyramids, right? These are smart. These people are at least as smart as we are. So you're telling me that when it got cold, none of those niggas just said, hey, I'm gonna go back to the house? No, I'm gonna just go back to the house. No, it's getting cold. I'm gonna just go ahead and go back to the house. It's getting crazy. Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and take my lady. Hey, babe. Wait a minute. You know how mad disrespectful these black women is? You telling me that these black women walked with niggas to the North Pole? Are you fucking insane? Let's say that the men tried to fake it and tough it out. You telling me that the sisters that was carrying babies that needed to breastfeed, you telling me they didn't say, babe, I'm going back. I don't care if you keep going. You can keep going with Ramel and them, but check this out. I'll see you when you get back to the hut, because you telling me that the black women did not tell their man, I'm going back to the fucking house with grandma? None of this made sense to me. I was like, no, that can't be right. There's no black, I don't know any black folks that's getting ready to do that. Period. When I lived in Georgia, right? In Georgia, so when you live in New York, see, I don't know where y'all all at. When you live in New York, your mail is in your lobby. So you live in big buildings, like the building I grew up in had 24 floors. Each floor had 13 apartments on it. On the first floor, the lobby, when you walk in, there was a mail room. You know, you got your little mailbox with your key. You know, on your way in, on your way out, you check your mail. Bang. When I moved to Georgia, I realized that the rest of America wasn't the same as New York. You had housing complexes. And in these little subdivision housing complexes, like when you first come in, there's like one main house where all the mail is, but you might live like, you know what I'm saying? So most people drive to get their mail. Bro, where I live at right now, none of these people can believe that me and my kids actually walk to the store. They think that's a crime. They cannot believe it. They be like pulling over saying, hey, do you need? And I swear to God, the store is like it's like 3 blocks. I kid you not. The store is 3 blocks. But the people, they can't believe it. They just don't walk 3 blocks. There's no way that niggas just walked 3 countries on GP. That's not realistic. As soon as it got cold, we was busting the U-turn back to the house. Period. Anyway, I'm gonna let that go. But I knew as a kid, with no scientific nothing, that was a bullshit story. There's no way that black folks walked all the way up until the fucking ice and then poof, turned into white niggas. No. 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 Anyway, so bottom line, the people from the equator, their bodies developed to eat fruits and vegetables, the shit that was plentiful there. The people from the cold areas, their bodies developed for what? Meat and milk. Milk was very important to the people that lived in the cold. Very important, because that was a way that they could prolong the life of animals without killing them right away. You know what I'm saying? They could use a goat to feed a long time by drinking the milk. Or if they got their hands on a cow, they could, live off the cow for a long time off the milk. You know what I'm saying? And they could use that animal to give birth to other animals. And, so they developed this process of animals making animals as fast as possible way before there was fast food restaurants. right? So this is why most black folks is lactose intolerant. It has nothing to do with the milk sugar. It has everything to do with the milk proteins. Right? Don't let them fool you. Oh, you lactose intolerant. It's the milk sugar. You niggas don't ask enough questions. Just ask them, what is lactose made out of? If you ask them what lactose is made out of, then you'll notice that you get those same sugars all over the place. You get those same sugars all over the place, including when you was a baby in your own breast milk and you had no problem with it. Right? So it has nothing to do with that. It's the proteins. Anyway, these adaptations might be influential of mitochondria. Let me see how much time. Oh, 2 hours. Damn. All right, we're gonna probably do another 30 or something, and then we're gonna get out of here. I was about to say it's Halloween. It's Valentine's Day. You see, I'm thinking about the wolf shit and all that, but it's Valentine's Day. I got shit to do. Right? But these adaptations might be influential of mitochondrial substrate preference and could play a role in disproportionate insulin-resistant rates among races. A higher glycolytic flux and provision of shuttles transferring electrons from cytosol to mitochondrial matrix could be the contributing factor in development of insulin resistance via heightened reactive oxygen species production. God damn it. You know what that is? That's like the Charlie Brown teacher version of the EnQi cycle. Boom bam boom bam bam boom bam bam boom bam boom bam bam boom bam bam. That's I'm gonna translate the Charlie Brown teacher shit for you right now. So we're gonna do that one more time. Boom bam boom bam bam. Watch this. A higher glycolytic flux and provision of shuttles transferring electrons from cytosol to mitochondrial matrix could be the contributing factor. Now, do you know what that look the shuttles transferring electrons from cytosol, the plasma, to the mitochondria? That is NAD. Just in case you didn't know. NAD, the thing I keep telling you niggas, is made from tryptophan, the aromatic amino acid that fructose, the sugar, inhibits. So when fructose inhibits tryptophan from being metabolized, your body cannot make NAD. NAD is the shuttle, it's the middleman, it's the runner, right? The runner, you know what I'm saying? Yo, go give me some Dutchies. That's NAD, right? Melanin grabs the free electrons from water and then passes it to NAD. NAD runs them back and forth to the mitochondria, to the nuclear DNA, to the histones, to feed the sirtuins, all of the extra stuff that you're hearing from these white guys, Jack Cruz, David Sinclair, Huberman podcast, and all this other bullshit. They are leaving out the melanin part. See, they still a part of the racial institution of science. So they will say everything except the elephant in the room. Yeah. And a part of that is because they can't even go in if they wanted to, because the people that back them is like, like the baby Horus, when Greece stole Horus and turned him into the child Horus like this. That's what this means. Let me show y'all this. There's some of y'all that don't know what I'm saying. Let me find this baby Horus for you niggas can understand what I'm saying. Because y'all got to check this shit out. This baby Horus shit is insane. So let's look at this. Okay, here's Google. Okay, now let's do Egyptian god Horus. Yeah. Okay. So now let's check out Horus. Right? Look at how Horus looks. This is Horus in Egypt. Look at all these depictions of Horus looking like super tough and masculine and like ready to kick ass at any moment. Horus always looks like he's ready to pull up. Horus is probably the god of pulling up. Yeah, Horus always looks ready to pull up, right? Like he's super masculine, right? Okay, now watch this. Look what happened when the Greeks got a hold of Horus. This is what they did. Now check this nigga out. What is this? Now notice the Shaka Akmos bullshit is going on. So you know it's some weirdo shit is happening, right? But look at this. That's what they did with him. You see? So he's covering up his lip with it, like he got the secret now. And then he's buck naked with his Johnson is out. You know, shit got very weird with, you know, this, yeah. They violated my man. Look at this butt cheeks. You know, that's what they did to him. We're not even gonna look at it too long. Okay, you see it. You see it. Shit. You see he's violated. Damn it. We ain't gonna go too crazy on him, man. You see what happened to him. You see what happened to him. He got violated. You know, it's like when they take a kid from the kid prison and put him in adult prison. You just, God bless the child. Right? That's what happened to him. They dogged him. Right? He went from looking super masculine, ready to tear shit up to, you know, with a, a side lock. So anyway, this shuttle transferring electrons is NAD, right? Now, they said the shuttle's transferring electrons from cytosol to mitochondrial matrix. Now, mind you, all this is disrespectful. You know what I should pull back out? Damn, what's her name? And I met her too. This is one of the ladies that was like the GOATs. I didn't have her ranked up there with Frances Cress Welsing because Frances Cress Welsing, she was like one of my all-time heroes for fucking up William Shockley. Period. That will never change. But fuck, I can't think of this lady's name. Anyway, she wrote the book Medical Apartheid. And in the book, she documents that one of the purposes of the medical journals was to keep the general public, especially Black folks, out of understanding what they was talking about, the doctor information, like specifically. So when you read this and this boom, bam, boom, bam, bam, boom, bam, bam, it's designed that way so that you don't fuck with it. Even if they put this shit in your lap, you look at it and go, oh. See, I never, that type of thing. If I feel like you trying to like not let me have it, that make me want to take it away from you. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm the opposite. My brain doesn't go like that. If I feel like you hiding it, then I'm gonna try harder to find it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, no. Anyway. The shuttles transferring electrons from cytosol to mitochondrial matrix could be a contributing factor in development of insulin resistance via heightened reactive oxygen species production. Now, heightened reactive species production, we talked about that also, right? I showed the pictures of melanin right next to mitochondria all the time. Yeah, let me see. I got one of them hard drives because I want to show it right now. It's good to see these images. uh, 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 uh. All right. Let me get the little hard drive real quick. Hold on, let me pull this shit up. Alright. Let me show y'all this job real quick. One time for the one time. Hey, hey! Yeah, Osborne, please make sure you keep the profanity down. You know they trying to kick me out of the algorithm this month. Yeah. All right, now here's what we was talking about. Now this is another. Now this ain't the slide I'm looking for, but this is an old lecture. Y'all remember this? This is what we did when we did the article, right? When I went to New York and they had the mayor and the city, the city council and all that cut the ribbon for. This is that lecture, right? And in this slide, this is not what I'm looking for, but look, I'm showing that how melanin plays a role in autophagy. So when you hear these goofy ass niggas, again, Jack Cruz and Andrew Huberman, all of these white guys on YouTube that gets the 100,000 views, 500,000 views and all that, and we got 15 niggas. just know we got the work. That shit is stepped on over there. Okay. Autophagy is a 100% melanin based process. Listen to what I'm telling you. Autophagy is melanin based. So I don't care who you heard autophagy from. I don't care what scientist, what doctor, what surgeon, chiropractor, what book you read. I don't care if he don't start his autophagy conversation with melanin and end it with melanin, he's doing one of two things. He's either telling you some shit he don't know about, or he knows, but he's hiding the truth from you. Now, I'm not going to go into detail right now because in the book, when you get the master edition, you're going to get that. But hold on. Let me find this thing that I was actually looking for real quick because I like to show this picture. And look, remember this guy? Look at that guy. Yeah. That's the guy that we now got, you know what I'm saying? Now we got our guy, got a little combo for you. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Wusia. Freemasonry is the largest and most successful fraternity on earth, and it's black. If we are going to celebrate anything during Black History Month, it should be Freemasonry. Celebrate by learning true black history and transforming your body with Dr. EnQi's 120-day challenge. Dr. EnQi's groundbreaking research has been backed by Harvard and now the National Library of Medicine. This is Freemasonry at its finest. Remember, before there was a Dr. Sebi or Dr. EnQi, there was an Imhotep. Go to Amazon and get your copy now.
I find shit right now? Nah, bro, we gonna find it. We gonna make it. We gonna. Okay, hold on. All right, wait a minute. It's in one of these damn presentations for sure. It just, I have so many of these joints. Not to sound like a flex or nothing, but it's a lot of these fucking slides. And this information don't come from me, it comes through me. So God be sending me too much abundance. Yo, when they say God is gonna put you into abundance, boy oh boy. If information is wealth, I am the richest nigga on earth. If knowledge translated directly into dollars, I would definitely be Elon. Elon would probably be my butler. Yeah. Elon would be my butler. Uh-oh, hold on. We getting warm. We getting warm, damn it. We getting warm. Oh, hold on. I gotta show that. Wait a minute. I gotta show that. Damn. And I done slipped off of it. For Anubis, I gotta represent. Hold up, man. Hold on. I gotta show some Anubis shit while I'm looking for the other slides. Let me show y'all this. Because this is some whole fake shit too that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's mad fake shit that needs to be debunked. Okay, look at this. Now, this is what we know about Rottweilers, right? Or at least this is what we think we know. Rottweilers is German dogs. Guess what? Rottweilers is not German dogs. Rottweilers are Egyptian and Sumerian dogs. Rottweilers are not German. A part of Greece adopting the culture of the dog people was the actual dogs. Duh. You think we just had statue of dogs? No, we had the actual dogs. Rome took the dogs and militarized the dogs. So when they talking about what's his name? Alexander the Great and all these guys, they're leaving out their version of nuclear weapons back then, which was the dogs. And when Rome invaded Europe, when they conquered Germany, and you could look this up, because that's what this statue is here representing. This statue is the statue in Germany of the very first Rottweiler in Germany. And that Rottweiler got left there by the Roman soldiers that used those dogs to invade Germany. And they took those dogs that they forgot in Germany and bred them. And then they start sharing them to the world as domesticated working dogs. So now they're known as German dogs, but they're not German dogs. They're not from the polar cold weather. They don't prefer to be outside in the fucking snow. All those stories is fake. These dogs is from the equator. That's why they're dark, if you ask me. I mean, they're clearly black. I'm just saying. But look up, do the history. Romans left those dogs in Germany. They're not from Germany. Yeah. So we're going to set the record straight on Anubis Day. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, that's what they used to look like. You know, these are the older pictures. These are the older pictures of them. You see? And they wasn't fat. They wasn't big fat dogs the way that they're portrayed today. Rottweilers are not supposed to be fat. So what happens is the same thing as people. What happens to bodybuilders, like when you get big and cock diesel, pause, that sounded a little crazy, right? But when you get big and then you just all of a sudden stop working out, what happens to that muscle? It turns to fat and flabbiness. So that's what happened to Rottweilers. When they turned the Rottweilers from soldiers, killers, into domesticated farm dogs, they got fat. Other people in other places saw the fat dogs, still kind of dangerous. Like, how the dangerous niggas in the neighborhood, they have a couple of babies and then they get the fat belly, but they still a little halfway dangerous. That's how Rottweilers turn. You know what I'm saying? But people think that Rottweiler is supposed to be fat. That's why their lifespan is so short now. If you buy a Rottweiler now, these people will tell you that your Rottweiler is going to live like 7-8 years. That's not right. And I know that only because my dad bred Rottweilers. So when I was little, we always had Rottweilers. That's why when my kids wanted a puppy, I'm like, okay, I'll find us a Rottweiler. There's not even a choice in my mind because as far as we were raised, there is no other dog. It's Rottweilers or nothing. You can get a fish. You can get some fish. You can get some turtles, right? So, yeah. But our dogs never lived less than like 10 to 15 years. You know what I'm saying? Unless my dad had it put to sleep or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But they always lived longer than 10 years. Like that was standard. And we didn't do nothing extra special. You know what I'm saying? For the dogs. Trust me. Nothing special. And they all lived long. So I knew when I seen these dogs, because like it's a guy on the internet now. I'm going to blow him up. But he's like one of the biggest Rottweiler salesmen in America. All his dogs, they like, and they call them like little bears. I'm like, bro, what's wrong with you, bro? Them dogs got the same problems black folks got. Them niggas got diabetes, high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease. Look it up. I'm a certified pet nutritionist. Trust me. I didn't stop with the naturopathic shit. Once I got a little taste for these papers, I was like, oh, let me get some of all these papers. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a certified pet nutritionist. And look up the problems that Rottweilers have. They got the same shit, the hip problem, pull up black people health problems and Rottweiler shit side by side. You're going to crack the fuck up. You are going to crack the fuck up. I promise you. But anyway, let me find this melanin picture, then we can get the fuck out of here. Well, not get out of here, but we can at least wrap up. Where are you? Yo, this is crazy. Bam. Bang. Here we go. Here you go right there. Look. This is what I'm trying to show you. Now, let's go back. I'm going to read what the articles say again. Right? Now, I'm going to show now you can see inside your cell. So we're not fucking around, right? So now let's read this what the articles say again. A higher glycolytic flux and provision of shuttles transferring electrons from the cytosol to mitochondria matrix could be a contributing factor in the development of insulin resistance via heightened reactive oxygen species production. Stop. This is how your body deals with the reactive oxygen species coming out of the mitochondria by putting melanin all around the mitochondria. all around it to absorb the reactive oxygen species. Now, the more melanin you got surrounding the mitochondria, the less damage those free radicals will do. Okay, here's another picture. All right, this is kind of a further back view, right? This is closer up, right? So this is the real science of why black don't crack, or where that idea comes from. It's because you have more melanin absorbing the free radicals coming off the mitochondria than anybody else. And when I say black people, I don't mean like like Chris Brown and Drake. Yes, they are black in a sense. No, I mean the darker you are. I'm talking about, me. Me, LeBron, Kyrie. You see what I'm saying? Then right behind us is like Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and then way behind them is like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. Then behind them, Drake, Alicia Keys, right? Then behind them, Taylor Swift. You see where I'm going with this? Okay. I'm just saying. I'm going to tell you like a nigga told me. Now, we're going to put the article down for a second. We'll come back to it. I told you it's going to be multiple days to deal with it, right? But then, check this out. Look, we have found that melanocytes were localized in the valves of the heart. Moreover, the number of melanocytes in the heart appears to reflect that of the skin. What? So the darker your skin, the more melanin you got in your heart?
Hi, my name is Wusia. Freemasonry is the largest and most successful fraternity on earth, and it's black. If we are going to celebrate anything during Black History Month, it should be Freemasonry. Celebrate by learning true black history and transforming your body with Dr. EnQi's 120-day challenge. Dr. EnQi's groundbreaking research has been backed by Harvard and now the National Library of Medicine. This is Freemasonry at its finest. Remember, before there was a Dr. Sebi or Dr. EnQi, there was an Imhotep. Go to Amazon and get your copy now.
Yeah. The darker. Now listen, if you feel away because you light skin or white skin or whatever, hey, I'm not mad when you celebrating, like, whew, man, so the darker I am, the faster I'm gonna. I mean, the darker you are, the faster you're gonna get cancer and diabetes. Whew, thank God I'm. Hey, so that's why I don't say better. I just say different. Yeah, because the darker you are, the higher your chances of getting cancer and diabetes and all kinds of shit. So we got to celebrate our wins wherever we can get them. Damn it.